Hello everyone, hello ACES, and hello to our students and teachers who are dealing now on the module 2. For this particular video, we'll be doing a video guide for the English 8 for the week 2. Now, based on the most essential learning competencies for grade 8, we'll be discussing the use of conventions in citing sources. Referencing or citing sources allows you to acknowledge the contribution of other writers and researchers in your work. It is also a way to give credit to the writers from whom you have borrowed words and ideas, and to avoid the process of taking other people's words and or ideas and pretending that they are your own, which is considered to be an academic dishonesty such as plagiarism. Now, in order to make plagiarism with the concept, we'll be dealing now with these two images. In the first picture, we have, are you familiar with the Ctrl-C and the Ctrl-V shortcut in your keyboard? Yes, very much. Whenever that you are having your assignment, you usually consult Mr. Google. Hello, Mr. Google. Then you will just be doing Ctrl-C for the copy and Ctrl-V for the paste. Now, we call that as plagiarism because you are just getting the idea of other people without citing their name. You are making an academic dishonesty because you will be submitting your work under your name without any citations from the original author. Now, we call that as the plagiarism. Plagiarism is actually, aside from the academic dishonesty, it is punishable by the law as of the moment, because many of the students, not only the students but also professionals, some of them usually copy the work of other individual and present it under their name without citing the original or the true owner. Now, printed books are not the only sources that require acknowledgement. One major purpose of citation is to simply provide credit where it is due. When you provide accurate citations, you are acknowledging both the hard work that has gone into producing research and the person who performed that research. Now, citing is not only intended for the writers or the authors of the book, but it can be also in journals. It can be also in the research. Now, you cannot claim that particular work or that particular recommendation came from you because you just copied that from the internet or from the journals. That would be academic dishonesty or the plagiarism. Now, the purpose of this particular video will be dealing on how to cite correctly, on why to cite, and how to cite. Now, these are some of the reasons why you should cite. For the first one, it helps you to avoid plagiarism by making it clear which ideas are your own and which are someone else. Number 2, it shows your understanding of the topic. Number 3, it gives supporting evidence for your ideas, arguments, and opinions. Number 4, it allows others to identify the source you have used. For example, the content in this video were actually rooted from the self-learning modules drafted by the Division of Pampanga. I, Teacher A, do not own any of the content or any of the wordings in this particular video because we are just doing it for educational purposes. We always acknowledge the SDO-Pampanga and the authors of the SDO-Pampanga who crafted these self-learning modules. Now, American Psychological Association or the APA is the one of the major styles of citing sources. Now, you can actually detect if the concept came from the work of other individual. Now, on this particular part, a work cited list is an alphabetical list of works cited or sources you specifically called out while composing your paper. All works that you have quoted or paraphrased should be included. When you cite sources using APA format or the American Psychological Association style, the page should be titled References and is arranged alphabetically by author's last name. It is somehow, have you seen your bibliography or the references at the back of your book? Yes, that's correct. Most of the textbook in the DepEd and other learning resources, they also quoted or deduce their concept from the works of other individual. That's why they put every name listed as their reference. Now, for the bibliography, meanwhile, is the list all the material you have consulted in preparing your essay, whether you have actually referred to and cited a work or not. Now, these are the elements of standard citation. Citations consist of standard elements and contain all the information necessary to identify and track down publications, including the author's names, titles of books, articles, and journals, date of publication, page numbers, volume and issue numbers for articles. Take note of these elements of standard citations. To continue, the information below will help you to familiarize with the sources you need to be cited. The first one would be facts, figures, ideas, or other information that is not common knowledge, ideas, words, theories, or exact language that another people use in other publications. Publications that must be cited included books, book chapters, articles, web pages, and thesis. Another person's exact words should be quoted and cited to show proper credit. Bibliography contains a list of books or articles or both relating to a particular subject. In a research paper, a bibliography is an alphabetical list, sometimes grouped into categories, containing the names of all works quoted from generally used in its preparation. Every formally prepared research paper should contain a bibliography placed at the end of and begun on a separate page. For books, this would be our format. Students, please take note of this. For books, in order to cite correctly, this would be our format. Author's last name, first initial, publication date, book title, additional information, city of publication, publishing company. Students, you should also take note of the punctuation mark, the spacing, and the font style. Now, for one author, we have this Tompkins G. 2000 Teaching Writing 3rd edition, New Jersey, Prentice Hall Incorporated. Now, if we try to analyze, we have the first author's last name followed by the punctuation comma, first initial, period, the year, publication date, open and close parenthesis, teaching writing, additional information, city of publication, and publishing company. Another one would be, for two authors, we'll be using Dorn L. and Sophos, 2005, Teaching for Deep Comprehension, Main Stenhouse Publishers. Just like this copy or this example. Another one would be Lowenko A. Ethal. When we say Ethal, this would be a combination of the writers for 3 or more. Now, if you cannot write 20 names in our citation, that's why we'll be using Ethal, and the major writer would be used instead. Same format. For the encyclopedia, we have this format: author's last name, first initial, then date, title of article, title of encyclopedia, the volume pages, the city of publication, and the publishing company. You should take note also when to use comma, when to use spacing. That's why I am telling you, you should have the copy of the correct order, the correct punctuation mark, and the correct spacing. We have this one. If you try to observe, whenever that you are writing the title of the book or the encyclopedia, it should be a bit italic, nakapalihis. Then for the magazine and newspaper articles, we have the author's last name, first initial, publication date, article title, period title, the volume number, issues if available, and exclusive of pages. For the online periodicals, we have the author's name, the first initial, of course, the date of publication, open and close parenthesis, then period, the title of the article, period, the title of the periodical, you can make it italic, the volume number, the retrieved month, day, year, and the full URL. Now, let's try to practice this one. Using a line, match the details in column A with the elements of standard citation in column B. Write your answer in the notebook. Okay, we have here on the first column A, we have the information, and for the column B, we have the elements. You should only need to identify by putting lines, or you can write it down on which of the column A suits in the column B. We have To Kill a Mockingbird, Lee, age 1982, New York, and Warner Books. For number 1, we have To Kill a Mockingbird. It is the title of the book, a bit slanted, italic. Lee, age, the author's name. 1982 would be the year of publication. New York would be the place of publication, and Warner Books would be the publisher. When we say publisher, kung sino yung naglimbag. When we say year of publication, the date when it was published, the title of the book, the place of publication, and the author's name. Now, analyze the situation below. Cite all the sources used by the character. Write your answers on your notebook. Now, Tom needs to accomplish his homework about nouns and pronouns. He goes to the library to do some research looking for Prentice Hall Volume 2 book, which he always uses for his English task because it's authored by his favorite writer Gary Forlini and published by Simon & Saucer in New York City 1982. In his paper, Tom needs to accomplish a list of sources he viewed. Now, write the name of the author, identify it on the paragraph, the date of the publication, the title of the book, the name of the publication, and the place of the publication. You can pause this video for you to have a sufficient time in answering. Let's try. The name of the author, Gary Forlini. Date of publication, 1982. Title of the book, Prentice Hall. Name of publication, Simon & Saucer. And place of publication, New York City. If we try to make it in the citation format of the APA style, we have Forlini, comma, G period, open and close parenthesis, 1982, period, italize, Prentice Hall, period, space, New York City, colon, space, Simon and Schuster, period. That would be on how we cite a particular book. Now, I do hope that this particular video guided you on how to cite properly. That will be all for the English 8 Module 2 on the conventions in citing sources. Happy learning everyone, and so long, Edo Calidad.